Hello. Welcome back to STM Narratives. Before we begin, please comment where you are watching from and the time. The quiet streets of Willow Creek stirred to life under the soft glow of the morning sun. Samuel Carter, 74 years old, made his way down the sidewalk, leaning on his cane for support. A retired carpenter, his gait was slow but purposeful, a testament to a lifetime of resilience. His cane was more than a walking aid. It was a gift from his late wife, Ella, and a cherished reminder of her love. Samuel enjoyed his routine walks. They cleared his mind and reminded him of simpler times. As he turned a corner onto Maple Street, his calm was interrupted by the hum of a police car parked nearby. Two officers sat inside, their eyes tracking him like predators eyeing prey. Officer Ethan Price, a stocky man with an air of arrogance, sipped his coffee while nodding towards Samuel. "Look at that guy," he said to his partner. Officer Brad Nichols, a younger and visibly hesitant recruit. "What's he doing around here?" Nichols glanced at Samuel. "Looks like he's just taking a walk, Ethan. Probably lives close by." Price snorted. "Yeah, or he's up to something. Let's check him out." Nichols shifted uncomfortably, but said nothing as Price stepped out of the car, his boots crunching against the pavement. Samuel noticed the approaching officers, but kept walking. He had encountered police before on his walks, but this felt different. The tension in Price's gait, the sharpness in his voice. It set Samuel on edge. "Hey there," Price called out, his tone commanding. Samuel stopped and turned, his hand tightening on his cane. "Good morning, officers. Something I can help you with?" "What are you doing out here?" Price asked, his eyes narrowing as he scanned Samuel up and down. "Just taking my morning walk," Samuel said, keeping his voice polite. "Been doing it for years." Price's gaze fell to the satchel slung over Samuel's shoulder. "What's in the bag?" Samuel hesitated. "Just my paper, an apple, and some water. Nothing else." "Mind if we take a look?" Price pressed, stepping closer. "I don't see why that's necessary," Samuel replied, his voice wavering slightly. Price's lips curled into a smirk. "You're refusing a lawful request?" Nichols interjected, his tone softer. "Sir, we just need to check. It'll only take a second." Reluctantly, Samuel opened his bag, showing its contents. "See? Nothing but what I said." Price glanced at the items, clearly unimpressed. His eyes then landed on the cane. "And what about that?" Samuel stiffened. "It's my cane, officer. Nothing more." Price reached out. "Hand it over." Samuel instinctively pulled back. "Please, sir. This belonged to my wife." Price's face hardened. "Are you resisting me?" Before Samuel could respond, Price grabbed the cane. The force of the pull caused Samuel to stumble, and he reached out to steady himself. "Stop," Samuel said, his voice cracking. "This is unnecessary." But Price had already made up his mind. Holding the cane like it was a weapon, he inspected it, twisting and tapping it against his palm. "It's just a cane," Nichols said, trying to de-escalate. "There's nothing wrong here." Price ignored him, his frustration mounting. "You think you can walk around here and do whatever you want?" "I'm just walking," Samuel exclaimed, his voice pleading. "Please give it back." Price's anger boiled over. He shoved Samuel backward, sending the old man crashing to the ground. Samuel hit the pavement with a thud, his hands scraping against the rough concrete. Pain radiated through his knees and elbows as he struggled to push himself up. "Get up," Price barked, towering over him. Samuel's voice trembled as he replied, "I'm trying." "You're not trying hard enough," Price growled, pulling out his baton. Nichols stepped forward, alarmed. "Ethan, stop. He's not resisting." "Stay out of this, rookie," Price snapped. "I know what I'm doing." Price raised the baton and brought it down hard on Samuel's side. The old man cried out, his frail body jerking under the impact. "Stop!" Nichols shouted, grabbing Price's arm. "This isn't right." Price shoved him away. "If you don't like how I do my job, you can leave." Another blow landed, this time on Samuel's legs. He curled into a ball, his cries of pain echoing down the empty street. When Price finally stepped back, Samuel lay motionless on the ground. His breathing was shallow, his body bruised and battered. Nichols knelt beside him, his face pale. "Sir, can you hear me?" Samuel's lips moved faintly, but no words came out. "We need an ambulance," Nichols said, reaching for his radio. "No, we don't," Price snapped, yanking the radio away. "We'll take him in ourselves. Write it up as resisting arrest." The video footage of the incident, recorded by a bystander, spread like wildfire. Within hours, the image of an elderly black man being beaten by a police officer sparked outrage across the country. Protests erupted in Willow Creek and beyond. Crowds gathered outside the police station, their voices rising in unison. Justice for Samuel. In police brutality, Samuel's daughter, Angela, sat by his hospital bed, holding his hand as tears streamed down her face. "You didn't deserve this, Dad," she said softly. "None of it." Samuel, his body weak but his spirit unbroken, managed a faint smile. "I've seen worse, Angie, but it doesn't mean it hurts any less." At a press conference, Price offered a cold defense of his actions. The suspect was acting suspiciously and refused to comply with lawful orders, he said, his tone unapologetic. "I acted to protect myself and my partner." The statement only fueled public anger. Social media exploded with hashtags like #JusticeForSamuel and #StopPoliceBrutality. Protesters filled the streets, carrying signs that read, "Enough is enough," and "End racism now." Nichols, unable to live with his silence, came forward with his own account. In an emotional interview, he said, "Samuel Carter wasn't resisting. He wasn't a threat. I tried to stop Ethan, but he wouldn't listen. What happened was wrong, and I need to say that." Samuel's story became a symbol of systemic injustice. Angela, speaking at a rally, said, "My father is a kind, gentle man who deserved respect, not violence. This isn't just about him. It's about every black man and woman who has been hurt by a broken system." Her words resonated deeply, sparking nationwide conversations about racism and police reform. The trial of Ethan Price gripped the nation. The prosecution played the video in court, the brutal footage speaking louder than any testimony. Witnesses described Samuel as a beloved member of the community, a man who had always treated others with kindness and respect. Price's defense painted Samuel as uncooperative and combative, but the evidence was irrefutable. Nichols' testimony, raw and heartfelt, further dismantled Price's claims. When the guilty verdict was announced, the courtroom erupted in applause. Outside, protesters cheered, their chants echoing through the streets. For Samuel, the victory was bittersweet. The physical wounds would heal, but the emotional scars ran deep. Sitting on his porch a few weeks after the trial, he watched children playing in the yard next door. Angela joined him, placing a hand on his shoulder. "You've inspired so many people, Dad. Your strength is changing things." Samuel nodded slowly. "I just hope no one else has to go through this. We all deserve to walk through life without fear." As the sun set over Willow Creek, Samuel felt a glimmer of hope. His pain had sparked a movement, one that promised a brighter future for generations to come.